Hello my friends, welcome back to Cafe Bagheri. Just in time for Valentine's Day, I have something special for you to make for your sweetheart. Persian chickpea cookies and a Valentina cocktail. So let's get started. First we're gonna make our dough. We're not using water in this dough for chickpea cookies. We're gonna use olive oil and butter. Now, you have the choice of using just regular unsalted butter or ghee butter. Ghee butter is clarified butter that's been browned a little bit, so it's a little toasty, nutty, and the original recipe from the Middle East has ghee butter in it. But we're just using unsalted, and that should do it. So we're going to combine our powdered sugar and our chickpea flour. One note I'm going to give you about chickpea flour. If you go to any regular grocery store in North America, you're liable to find an American brand like Red Mill, which is a great product. The problem is the chickpea flour you get under Red Mill or a couple other brands is not roasted chickpeas. But there is the chickpea flour that you get from Middle Eastern or Persian markets, like this brand. It is the same consistency and almost the same flavor, but they grind up roasted chickpeas, which is what we want for this cookie. Like any baked good, when you add flour and powdered sugar, you want to sift it to get rid of all the lumps. Chickpea flour, right there. We're going to quickly sift. Next, we're going to sift our powdered sugar on top of the flour. There we go. Isn't that pretty? Yeah, and just get rid of the last few clumps there. We're done with our sieve. We're going to mix this a little bit right here. Now we put the rest of our dry ingredients. I'm using a couple of teaspoons of ground cardamom. This is just a shell and center seeds and everything. Now, before I add that, I want to show you. Cardamom comes in these green pods like this. So you buy them dried pods like that and throw them in a spice grinder and you get the ground cardamom. But you can also buy it from the store pre-ground. That works as well. So we add this. Then we're going to add a pinch of salt. And that's pretty much all of the dry ingredients you need for this dough. We're going to mix this a little bit. Now for this cookie dough, you don't need to use a machine or a mixer or anything like that. You just, believe it or not, put on a glove and mix it all by hand. So next we're going to add our oils, the quarter cup of olive oil and quarter cup of butter. I melted it in microwave and I'll let it cool down for about a minute or two. And then now I'm going to add it to my dry ingredients. Just like that. It's our olive oil. So next step is just good old mixing by hand. There we go. At some point we're going to use our spatula. But right now I'm just using my hand to make sure that the oil touches all the dry ingredients. So because we're not using water, we're only using oils, this is not going to look like your typical pizza or cookie dough. It's not wet. It's crumbly. So make sure you kind of massage and break up the chunks of this dough between your fingers so that the oil gets to all the dry particles. This is going to take somewhere between 3 to 5 minutes. Any part of this dough that you pick up and press should kind of stay together like this. But I see there are some dry spots, so I have to keep working this. Now we have the consistency that we were looking for. As you can see, look at that. Any part of this dough will kind of stay together if you press it. This is what we were looking for. Now we're going to let it sit for between 15 to 20 minutes for the moisture to kind of spread and the consistent texture that you're looking for is achieved. One ingredient note for you here. The original recipe from Middle East, from Iran, also has about half a teaspoon of rose water in a couple of cups of chickpea flour. I didn't put it in there because I think this cookie's characteristic flavor and note is cardamom. But rose water adds another dimension. If you would like, you can try rose water and see if you like it. All right, our dough has been resting for about 20 minutes. Look, you can see it's kind of moist and it holds the shape when you push it down. But we're ready to roll it out to about 1/2 inch thickness and cut out our cookie shapes and bake it basically. But before we proceed, I want to ask you please, if you like what you've seen so far, could you please hit the like? And if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, would you please subscribe, share this video with your friends and family, and hit that little bell button down there so we can keep in touch, okay? Normally, if you were making any kind of cookie, obviously, you would put the dough down on a board or a surface, roll it out and work. But because of the crumbliness of this cookie dough and the texture, we're gonna do something that will hold it in place and make sure it doesn't get everywhere. We get a thick cookie sheet, standard size cookie sheet. The sides are gonna prevent the crumbly dough from escaping and going everywhere. So we're gonna initially put it together like this to make sure it's a dense mass. Then we use our rolling pin. As you can see, because of the crumbly nature of this dough, you get these cracks and edges that are not workable. But what you want to do is, doing different passes, you get a patch of uncracked, smooth surface in the middle that you can work with. We're going to use these vegetable cutters that I bought online, and they come in different shapes. But guess what? Valentine's Day. So we're going to use the heart shape today. Now, we have our cookie sheet with a piece of parchment paper on it. Now we have about 1/2 inch thickness. It doesn't have to be exactly even. It could be anywhere from a little more than 1/4 inch to 1/2 inch. Check this out. You just go all the way down. Now, here's what you're gonna do. If you're using pistachios, which I have ground up in a little food processor, in a spice mill, I can put a little bit on the top, right? And slightly press my finger on there so it will adhere. Then I will take this, come over here, and just push it down. Look at that. That's what we're going for. Please note that the chopped up pistachios are completely optional. If you like it, put it in there. I'm gonna add pistachios to a couple of these. Here, I use a little pinch of them. Just press down and just lift it. Bring it over here, push it down. That's your production line, like that. That's your procedure. So again, because of the texture of the dough, we do this in different passes. Look over here. The usable surface that I had rolled out, I've kind of cut out enough pieces that I need to press it and roll it out. See, I'll bring it back together. That's why I needed the pan, because I need to be able to not have this go everywhere. Now I get my rolling pin and get another center surface created where I can cut out. Don't worry about the cracks that start appearing initially. We're gonna push this together. One option you have is to put a couple of guides on both sides, 1/2 inch thick, if that's what you need, to make sure that the thickness of the dough is consistent all over the surface. See that center piece? I can cut about 10 or 12 out of there. Now we're almost in the last pass here. I'm gonna just drop some on the edges. They should be about half an inch apart because they're not going to expand like conventional cookies. So we won't have to worry about too much space between them. You just need some space for the hot air to flow between them. This last bit of dough left, I could press it and roll it still, but I'm gonna just get rid of it and be done with it because my cookie sheet is full. Depending on the size of your cutter, you get somewhere between 90 to 110 cookies out of this. So with this little heart cutter for Valentine's, we got about 92 cookies here, and we're gonna put this in the oven between 14 to 18 minutes, depends on the particular oven you have in the heat profile. And what happens is when they're cooked, you're gonna start seeing some cracks on the top, okay? Again, this is convection. Alexa, set a timer for 18 minutes. Okay, while the cookies are in the oven, let's make that sweet, wonderful cocktail I promised you. It's very simple to make. We have our main ingredient, which is vodka, and as always, we keep vodka in deep freeze. 3 ounces of vodka here. So the other important ingredient for this drink is a sour cherry syrup. Now, this product you have to find in Mediterranean markets or Middle Eastern stores. This one's from Croatia, and it's one of my favorites. No, they're not paying me to say that. We're going to use 2 ounces of this, and then we're going to thin it out. We need a little bit of water. We need 1 ounce of water to thin it out a little bit. So far we have the vodka, the cherry syrup, and the water. Now comes some more sweet and tangy stuff. Standard lemonade, we add 3 ounces. Okay, I have some ice here, as you can see. We're going to shake this for at least 20 seconds. All right, it's ready. I have a couple of frozen martini glasses waiting for me here in deep freeze. So you can serve this drink on ice, by the way, but we like it in martini form, like that. Again, this is the Valentina cocktail. Perfect color, tangy, sweet, and a little bit of sour. The cherry notes go perfectly well with your lemonade and vodka. Just put a little simple cocktail cherry on there. There you go. That's what we're going for, okay? All right, it's been 18 minutes. Our cookies are ready. I can see some little cracks on some of them. Look at this. This is how I know they're ready. See those little cracks that opened up? That means this is ready. We're gonna let it rest about 3 to 5 minutes, and we're gonna transfer it to our serving plate. Just remember, they're real fragile, and don't press them with the tongue. When you pick them up, just be gentle and transfer them to the serving plate, and you're good to go. There you have it, our chickpea cookies and the Valentina cocktail for Valentine's Day. Thank you for watching and being with us today. Please like this video, share it with your friends and family. Subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. Hit that little bell icon so we can keep in touch. Happy Valentine's Day, sweetheart. To another wonderful year.
Happy Valentine's.
Isn't that good? It's awesome.
I'm gonna